Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is the daily color in Small Victories. Thank you for visiting my channel and welcome back if you are returning. I believe this is episode 117 and we are continuing on with the bugs page. We have one last bug to finish up. It's the bottom bug you see here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. This is the final bug of the Pablo row. So I finished this off. I have spent a little time cleaning the bug images up, erasing some overmarks that I've done. I added some clear starlight. I thought about doing Wink of Stella, but I went with the gel pen jelly roll instead because sometimes my Wink of Stella can blob and I did not want to risk any issues. So you can see where I did the clear and it's the ballpoint size, so I kind of followed the shape of the black lines. I did the same thing on the bee. I'm trying to see, there you go, so you can see that. So that's how I finished those off, and I didn't do anything fancy with this beetle or the moth, except I did color with a lighter body color than I normally do. I just thought for something different. So our beetle down here is going to be pretty simple. Playing with the light a little bit. So I have the charcoal gray, which I have used on the last two bugs. And again, trying to read that number is something else. I find when I look at the video that you guys pretty much are seeing it. I'm looking through the camera and it is 409. So I will probably do some of that. And then the main color to be different is going to be teals, because bugs can be teal even if they are beetles. And the numbers are going to be really hard to read. Okay, so we've got 211. Let's see if I can see these. 150? 190. I'm not really sure. I will have these. Whenever I can't read these, I always am reminded that I should tell you that these will be on my description. I just cannot read this particular one. It's like it's over foiled. So that's 190, I believe, and I just don't even know what that is. So again, in the description, but it is the darkest teal that I picked. So I am going to start with the light and get a little light base down. There's this pattern. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to work the pattern. Okay, I have to pause because Hub is fussing around in the kitchen. I apologize for Hub's noisiness. See, he wears earbuds and he's listening to something. And he walks over to our kitchen. We just have a great room set up in the house. So he's behind me in the refrigerator and does not realize the noise he's making. So he apologizes. But because this is live coloring, I've now colored, so I can't start over. I have to just keep pressing on. So bear with us. Again, with the lightest color, I am just putting it in. I am leaving that triangle and the teardrop, as well as his eyes, not colored. And the legs are probably going to be charcoal. That kind of makes sense to do charcoal gray. So those 4 pieces may end up being charcoal, and I'm not sure if I will do any any base coloring or not. I am not sure yet. So far as I'm, I guess, learning how to be a daily colorist, I'm trying some different things, but most of the time I don't spend a lot of time prepping. I grab some colors that I think are good that I haven't used recently, and I then just kind of go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. So that's sort of what I would like to do, is not be, doing like a full mock-up of everything that I color when I color every day. Sometimes I want to be more structured, other times not so much. So these beetles and like this image yesterday, I completely made that up as I went. I didn't, this whole page I have not printed out. If I do 2 pages that I printed out and did some mocking up, I will make myself on the 3rd one not do a mock-up. And then on the previous page with the floral filigree, there were 4 images. I only colored 2 of them in, 1 of each pencil type. And then the other 2, I made myself wing it. So that's kind of how I've been trying to play around with different styles of coloring. So far, I have not found, I think I've already mentioned this, that I have not found a single pencil that I just couldn't handle. However, and I don't even know why I have this problem, Crayolas are not my friend, and so I don't even have them on my list. And there are people who that's all they own are Crayola, so I don't know what the deal is with me and Crayola. They're just not my thing. The other type of pencil that really isn't my thing, and I use them very rarely, but I do have them on my list. And I think I'm due to actually use them. And I don't think I used them the first time around, and that's the Prismacolor. They're not on my budget pencils. They're one of my professional pencils, so I still have not used all of my sets of professional pencils. I believe I have used 4 of the 8 that I have. So I am definitely going to hit the point where I am going to have to use my Prismas. I did the deep dive detailed walkthrough right around Christmas time, so I did a Christmas image, and it was pretty messy. I am a messy colorist. I know that if you use those soft pencils a lot and you get the crumbs and you can't wipe them with your hand, and you don't want to accidentally put your palm of your hand, the side down, and squish the little bits of extra pigment into the paper. So I'm not really looking forward to having to do that, and maybe it won't be as bad as I expect it to be. All right, so this little guy has all 3 layers. I'm going to grab the charcoal. These legs are just so thin. Speaking of thin, I should talk about these Pablos. I actually really like them. They have still maintained their feeling of being pretty dry. They are a hexagonal pencil, and the diameter of that hexagonal shape is quite thin, and so they feel like a very slender pencil to me. And the point stays pretty pointy, but you do wear out the tips as you use them, because I've found that I've had to sharpen them a little bit more than some of the other harder pencils. So they're kind of not really soft and they're not really hard. They're in between. So I am thinking I still want to do a custom shape here and have there be some highlights. Like that, something fun, not too complicated. They do mix colors well. You can do lots of like light layers and then get a unique color that maybe, like now I'm adding a little bit of the gray, but I want the teal to shine through. And these pencils are really good for mixing your colors. It is more than just doing a combo. It is literally, I want to have, with these bugs, I'll have the undertone be, you know, the teal, but you can see that I'm adding this charcoal so that it is a layer over the top. And then the last thing I want to do is add the very light. I don't think I want this to be white. One thing I will tell you is similar to other light colors, the Pablos are a opaque enough color that when you color over the black lines, it makes them appear gray or to have a white or light colored coating. So you do have to be careful with that if that is not what you want. So I have found that I have to be really light with them so that I don't actually put too much of the light color and then lighten up the lines. I think we're done. That bug is done. That concludes my Pablo experience, which was very pleasant. And I've prepped my test page for when I do the detailed walkthrough. And can't wait to get to be doing that. I probably am at least a week out. We've been quite busy with some house things this week. I have a game that I'm going to take some time off of the daily color to do this weekend. So while playing the game, I won't be doing my walkthrough prep. So it's probably going to be 2 weeks out, I'm thinking. All right, there is the last bug. Let's review. Here is the moth. We have a beetle, and I guess the bottom bug is also a beetle. We have a bee, and I think this is kind of dragonfly-ish. So now I have to change the camera because now I'm going to the middle. I'm going from the right to the left, because I'm left-handed, so I don't want my hand to be constantly rubbing on the coloring, and the glassine is a great idea, but it's just really cumbersome. So I'm going to pause really quick and move the camera to where I need to be, and we're going to start the middle row, which is going to be the Maries from China. All right, I am back. I've got my camera positioned for the middle row. We're starting at the top. I have a set of very unique colors. This is the Maries from China. I got them from Temu. You still cannot buy them on Amazon. The colors are going to be from light to dark, although it's questionable whether 004 or 143 is lighter than the other. And then I move on to 97 and 94. 94 is a really unique, deep purpley charcoal, I would say. So we will see what I can do with these 4 very unique colors. I will say that for these butterflies, I have some random sets of colors. The Maries is a set of 68. And I brought up on my phone butterfly images to just get some ideas for some unique color combinations. And that is what I am working from, but I now don't have, I have a couple of color combos picked out, but I don't have the images up. I didn't borrow Hub's phone. I've done that before where I think I had a moth for the double moth page, and I had his phone sitting right next to me so I could refer to it. But beyond looking and getting some color combo ideas, I do not have any pictures to look at. So this is a very different experience than the Pablos, which, as I said, are a pretty dry feeling pencil. You can hear them when you use them. I do not hear these pencils. These are definitely an oil, a very hard oil that has a smooth laydown, but they're not like buttery, creamy feeling. They're very, very nice to work with. I feel very comfortable with them. The Pablos, because of the noise, and it kind of bothers me a little bit that they're noisy, that alone makes them, you know, not pop to the top of my favorites list. So when I had these out and I put the Pablos away, I was very excited to feel this lovely. So I started with the lightest color for this section on both sides. Now the bottom, I'm going to start with the dark and work my way down. So this is that, this is not that one. Okay. I haven't even gone to the darkest. I need to move to the darkest. This is the 94 that I said is a really deep purple. And this is the one that I wanted to get right next to that body. Also, when you lay these down, the Pablos, it's a little bit more difficult. Let's see if I can explain this. It's a very smooth paper, but it is difficult to get the Pablos to fill in the tooth. They just don't feel like you can do heavy pressure and get them to fill in, where these Maries, I'm not even putting hard pressure, and the way they go down, they're filling in the tooth almost like in the first pass, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm not going to do the yellow. I am going to do the shades of gray to the kind of pinky gray, which is that one that I said I did not know if it was lighter than the yellow or not. They're probably very close. So this is that like grayish pink. These only have a number. They don't have a color. The Chinese writing on them is the same on every pencil, so it must be some sort of information about the brand. Marie's is a brand that's been in China since I think the 50s, last time I did my research, if I'm thinking of the right set. And so they have been around a long time, and they definitely have a lot of art products, including, you know, like sketchbooks and paints, a lot of different sketching pencil supplies, just everything. You name it, they have it. So that finishes off the wing part. And now I am going to go around the outside with this dark purpley gray color. So let's just see what we can do. I am probably also I'm doing some dark to lights. So So one thing the Pablos were really good at doing is this right here, where I am purposefully going lighter and lighter to get sort of an ombre effect. And the Pablos excelled at that. Now I want to have a dark layer between the upper wing and the lower wing. I almost wish this was a tad bit sharper. Okay. Same thing on this side. I want to go really dark, have a shadow between the upper and lower layer, and then I want this to be pretty light. And then we're going to do this last bit. So the bodies of the bugs in the first row with the Pablos, none of them really begged to be done with the glaze, and so I did not. I left them pencil. The only possible glaze pen for this row is this particular bug shape, because it's smooth and doesn't have a lot of interesting little lines or anything. It just has these little lines here. So I think what I'm going to do is do a little bit of light lay down, because I might just color the whole thing with black glaze. The shape is pretty simple. The dragonfly, which you can still see here, that was my one bug that I thought I might want to put some glaze down, but I don't think I need to do it. So maybe this one will be the one. So that is all I'm going to do on this first one. I have to be, so I tried to keep them even, but notice I didn't leave any white over here. So I'm going to color these in. So they're both the same. All right, simple. So the next one, it's going to get a little more complicated. I actually am going to zoom in on this one. So let's just see. So I'm going to set down over off to the side the ones I've used. And I think I've got a range of 5 colors. It goes pink to red. I'm going to give you the 3 reds first. And the crazy thing is, these 3 reds, the one flaw with the Maries that is really challenging for me is that the colors are this one that decidedly looks the darkest is the lightest. The second lightest is the second darkest. The darkest one is number 16. So it goes 20, 18, 16. And there's a little tone difference between 20 and 18. they're actually quite close in color. Then let's look at the tips. So the tips, I can see if I show you a little bit of the barrel and the tip that the far left that has sort of a brown body has the lightest tip. So at least that's a hint. It helps us a little bit. So I had to actually get that logged because I was never going to remember that and it would drive me crazy. All right, so I have 2 more pinks that are off to the side that we will also work with. I think I'm going to start, again, this is my lightest color, so I'm going to actually move down here to put in a nice roughed in lightest red. And then I'm also going to do light red up here. Let's also do red in the middle. And that's the end of the lightest for the moment. Going in with a middle. When you sharpen these, the wood is a heavier wood, so they are a little noisier to sharpen. They sharpen really well, but you can definitely tell that they have a sturdier wood, and they're also a bigger diameter. They feel like a chunky pencil compared to the Pablos. So now I'm going to sneak in here with this darkest color. I really like all the intricate patterns on the different butterflies, both in nature and in this book. I did not do the middle color over here. Oh, and see, I grabbed the wrong one. The lightest barrel is the darkest color. I am going to the lightest again. All right, I am seeing red and red. Let's do red here too. These are a very vibrant, easy lay down. Like I said, it's easier to do a solid lay down, harder to do a really soft, letting the, like a soft color where you want to mix the colors and you have some of the tooth of the paper showing. They are just very different. Not what I expected. All right, so I'm going to do a quick, every time I want to go for this lightest barrel, not the darkest. Okay, now I'm going to set these aside. I've got two colors I want to introduce. Their barrels are very different than their colors. We have 147 and 24. Oh, that is really funny. And I did not color these in, so we'll just have to wing it and see what we get. So I want these to look somewhat curved, so I'm going to go as light as I can get. And oops, I gotta do that. I might be bringing back in the very dark gray from up above. I think I will do that. Blocking in my colors. Now we've got the crazy super bright that really isn't super bright. Here, let me. Yes, there's nothing neon about this color. Oh. I actually forgot one thing about my color choices, which I will point out when we get to the next one. Okay, so now I'm going to go, I'm actually filling in the little edges here that aren't. You can't really see when you miss the edges until you get the other surrounding colors in. Okay. I want to keep these light. Right, now I'm reaching back over to get that very gray, deep gray, 94. I'm going to set these back up. And I'm going to do some shadows. It's kind of fun to work on your highlights to get the wings to appear curved versus straight and have the layering of the wings be emphasized by your darks and where you place the darks. See, adding that gray on the bottom of this wing, it's giving it a curved appearance. And then this wing is also giving the appearance of being curved. All by the shadows I am placing. I also want to darken, because we have some lines here, I want that to be even darker. Okay. I might surprise everyone with what I do with the body. I'm going to leave it alone, because I'm undecided. I might want to do something like what I did here. Sorry. Making sure that's in focus. Okay, so this is the one we just finished. Okay, now we're moving on to the next. This guy with the hearts, this was supposed to be pink and red, but I'm just not going to worry about it. And I'm going to rotate around, and I have 3 peach tones. I'm going to start up with a little bit of yellow. Peach is 9, 10, and 123. I did not sharpen these. I did not. And this looks not focused. I cannot tell. Okay, I'm going to sharpen really quick. I did not write the numbers, so it's going to be a little bit of a guessing game. I believe I'm going to go by the tip color. All right. The lightest tip is this one. And I'm going to just choose some areas to be light. This actually looks like a gear along the bottom. All right. like I said, I kind of picked out some colors, and I think the idea I had was for the hearts here to be red, but we're gonna have to do something different with them. Like, yeah, I have a purple in this area that maybe I'll play with. I might see if I can do, it's pretty narrow. Yeah, these are nice. They feel nice. Moving to block in my darks. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't make this traditional. One reason why I'm glad I didn't is that the bug below this needs to be a certain color, because it's a specific kind of bug. So I am glad I didn't put the red and pink right next to it. Okay, so that's pretty. And then I have this lavender. This is 36. This is very, very faint. I will have to see if I have a darker version. I believe I do. Way over on this other side, so I don't even know how this lavender ended up. Okay, so what color is this? 39. Okay, let's see if this isn't too bright. Okay, that's a very soft colored butterfly. All right, and I am not using a lot of pressure at all to get these colors. Okay, let's see. I think that's the lightest. Do a little blending. I have a little pencil color mark from something else. Let's see if I can erase that. Oh, isn't that cute? All right, so I canceled. I've got 32 plus 18. We're at 50 minutes. So I'm going to move right along to our fourth bug, because I don't want to have 2B. I'll have to go a little bit long. For tomorrow, if we want to get this whole page done. Trying to give this the appearance of a little curve. Okay, so I'm gonna skip the body on this one too, because they're gonna be pretty neutral colored. The fourth one, look at that, we have a ladybug. So I need my reds again. Let's see if I can remember the lightest to the darkest. Again, the 3 reds. This is the brownish one, and it is the lightest. It's number 20. And I'm going to do very soft. In the middle. I don't really know how this ladybug has a spot that spans both of the wings that open, but it is an imaginary ladybug, and I suppose I could make it not even a ladybug, but we'll have it be a ladybug. Okay. This should go pretty fast. Alrighty. That, I think I just did a ladybug. Oh, on the Brit Funer 520 flower box page with the 35 flowers and 34 flowers plus a ladybug. I thought this felt familiar. These are just so quiet. All right, so that is that, and then I have the, I'm gonna put these reds right here. Let's see if this is our 142. This is like a deep purple. And then I have this grayish purple. 97. 97? 97. Let's try doing this. Instead of making these black, we'll make them gray. I'm gonna have to clean up these two spots. Got some red in them. All right. A little bit of a variation there. I'll probably put something fun for its eyes. Yeah, some like a glaze or something. Maybe a shimmer. All right, so what we've done today, there is the first one. The second one we just did wings. The third one we just did wings. And then we've finished this guy. And the last one is a colorful moth. So I'll have to investigate a good color for that. Whew, so that is it. We will finish up the last bug using the Maries, and then we're going to move right along to the third set. And I am not going to share with you what that set is until we hit that tomorrow. So do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I will see you tomorrow for the last daily color of the week.